Hey guys, Mark here, and before we get started, I just want to say I am not a financial advisor. Everything you see in this video is for educational purposes only. Let's get into today's trade. So, before we look at the actual trade, let's look at what the market was doing. This is what I like to do first, right? Before 8:30 a.m., right? I like to see price is moving one direction, right? In this case, it was moving downwards. We had price trading below the midnight open, yesterday's close, and 8 a.m. by, it was like 9:08, price was trading below it. So at that point, I'm looking, the next thing I want to see is the range on this power of 3 indicator, which is free on TradingView. The range says $27. Well, we know this is 27 points, right? Not dollars, but 27 points. And we know the SPX moves 20 to 30 points range a day, right? So we know it's in 27, so it's in a oversold condition, right? Because first of all, we have these three confluences, which is the midnight open, yesterday's close, and 8 a.m. open. So we have those three confluences with us. We know the range is in an area where it's going to reverse, and then we also have a higher time frame support. Those are the only confluences you need, okay? Because we're in support, now we're looking to see where price reverses. We see price make this low, makes a lower low, but immediately reverses with speed, momentum. These two candles took out past like 10 candles range, right? And once it did that, it left behind an imbalance, or as you call it, a fair value gap. Price trades back into that 2 to 3 candles later. You enter your trade, you put your stops at the low, 2R, and it gets hit right here, right? Perfect trade, and that's it. It even had another fair value gap or imbalance that got traded into and then kept going, right? Now, this is not what I did. I made a mistake today in terms of when I tell you guys in videos, I've told you guys like maybe 3 times already. When you use a bigger stop loss, right, you need to take less profit, okay? In this case, if I used a bigger stop loss, 5 points, my risk reward now became 1.6. I like anything between 1.5 to 2. In this case, I moved my take profit up higher. And not to say that's a bad thing, right? Because obviously, it's still going higher. You're still in profit if you stayed in this trade. However, I got tagged out at break even already. The reason why I moved my stops to break even was because around this area when price was going higher, close to hitting take profit, not only is it really close to take profit, right? It's already at 1.7. But the fact is that on gold, if I switch to gold, right, we have almost a similar thing. London session, it was going higher. We saw price not above the not above yesterday's close, but it was trading above 8 a.m. and midnight open. It was around here. And we saw this high get taken out by this high. The lowest was this level, and you see this imbalance. So this imbalance is invalid because this high did not take out this high. Okay? So we're looking at the imbalance when a high is taken out by another high. So this high was taken out by this high, dropped, closed below this low, created this imbalance, and price traded into it. This is where I took the trade. When I took this trade here, it was around this level here. I moved all my stops to break even. Okay? Moved all my stops to break even. And as you see, it took me out here. Now, I didn't risk even a whole percent on both trades. I risked, I think it was 0.2 on gold and 0.6 on SPX. The reason for that being was I wanted to risk 1% on SPX to begin with because I did not know gold was going to provide a signal. So I wanted to risk 1%. But because of margin on TheFundedTrader, which is the challenge I used for this trade, right? I'm using TheFundedTrader for this morning setup now. I'm using Apex as well, so I may go between Apex and TheFundedTrader only because I don't want to be using just one. I want multiple in case one does fail because I was too impulsive or something. So I'm using 2, and for this trade I took it both of them on the funded trader, and their margin is I think 1 to 30, which is really low, so I couldn't even get a full percentage. So the max I could have gotten this trade, and you will see in the MT4 that I tried to place a higher lot but didn't let me, it was 0.2. So I took the 0.2 and I lost it. And then this trade here, right after this, where gold lost, right, it was just ranging and then it took me out at break even. Now when gold lost, you may think like, why didn't I move my stops back down to the low? Well, because gold has already lost, right? So I've lost 0.2%. If I was to lose this trade too, then I'm adding another 0.6% loser to my day. So I'd rather take that little tiny loss than take almost a 1% loser just because I got greedy and wanted to make profit. And yes, in hindsight, I could see that it's working in my favor if I had moved stops back. But at this time, when this big candle was playing out and took me out at break even, had I moved my stops right here, when this candle started going lower, I would have been scared and probably gotten out either way. So I rather just get out at break even and survive another day. As you know, this trade setup happens almost every single day. So I'm not really worried about missing this, right? Tomorrow could provide me a better opportunity where price moves even cleaner. Right now it's just ranging, right? So it wasn't the cleanest setup. And to begin with, I had made a mistake, right? News at 9:45 scared me into moving my stops a little lower. And as we know, news does affect you mentally because you're aware that news might take you out, so you're scared. But when you're backtesting and in hindsight, you don't really care about news. But then when we go in live trading, we do care about news. So there's a little bit of discrepancy when you're trading around news. Now, had I just left it like this, I would have had my 2R for the day, and this would have been a perfect setup, another perfect setup. And I would be talking about how this trade was perfect, blah, blah, blah. But because I made that emotional mistake, that is on me, that is not on the model. And that's why I want to show you guys this trade on my MT4. As you could tell on the left side there, it says it is the funded trader. It's a rapid challenge, right? Rapid challenge, basically you have 8% drawdown and you have to make 8% profit. But here are my trades. Forget this UJ trade. I was just trying to see if I could place trades. But and it was a limit order, so I closed it off. But here's the break even, break even, break even, and break even. These are on the SPX, right? You see here, I try to place a bigger lot size on gold, and this is what I was telling you. I try to place, it was maybe a 0.6 because it ended up being 0.2. So I wanted a 1.2 total risk, right? And I couldn't get that. The highest I could get was a 0.2% risk. And obviously worked out against me. And yeah, so we have a little loss of a 0.2 as of today on this account, because this is, I just started it. So yeah, you may see me trade this on a different, so if there's multiple trades, I might have Ninja Trader open where I could take gold or SPX on Apex, and I will take which is Apex Trader funding, or I'll take one on the funded trader and one on Apex, or one on the funded trader and one on MyForexFunds. It just depends. Either way, this was the trade. Again, the model worked out just fine. It's just I made a mistake, which is okay. You know, we're humans, we all make mistakes. One last time, we're getting into the 10-minute mark. I don't want to keep you too long. Trade happened below midnight, opened below yesterday's close and below 8 a.m. Right? Those are three really good confluences. It doesn't have to be below all three, but they're really good confluences, and it has to be at least below 2 if you're going to be buying, or it has to be above 2 if you're going to be selling. The bigger confluence is the higher time frame support and also the range. We know, you could just Google the range that you expect a certain currency or index to go every day, and when price is around that range, it has moved around that range, you can expect the reversal, and that's what we did. So it's pretty easy, right? It's not really complicated. It's pretty easy, and I hope you guys understand. But there's my trade for the day. Well, for the morning at least.